Hello, Insomniacs. I'm Kurious Cyclopes.
And I'm Steve.
We are Never Sleep Again TV. Well, I know everyone likes Steve better because he's the more handsome, the more popular. He's the coolest. So you know what, assholes? Today's your lucky day because Steve is pretty much going to be rocking this whole video as I sit back and go, Well, today's topic is horror novels. You know I'm the bad boy that doesn't read books. The only horror-esque stuff I do read is horror magazines, which is a totally separate video. So I'm not really going to have much to say. So I'll just get it out of the way now. When I was a kid, I read a lot of Goosebumps books. And my favorite is Slappy the Dummy, and there was many sequels to Night of the Living Dummy. So, that's my segment of the episode. Alright, Steve. Get us started.
Sure.
With the horror novels. And don't forget to read, kids.
Yeah.
Or you'll end up like the Kurious Cyclops.
Reading is fundamental.
Yes.
I only have a couple. I don't have I tried to go with, like, favorites, I guess. The obvious one.
This
Stephen
guy.
King's It. Look at this fucker. I mean, honestly, like, thick as shit, like...
Ooh, she thick. T-H-I-C-C. Thick.
See, you can see I have my little bookmark in. I'm about halfway through trying to read it again.
So you didn't read the whole thing, or have you?
I've read it before. I'm on a reread before the movie comes out.
How much do you remember from your original full read-through?
Most of it? A pretty fair amount, yeah.
Obviously, everyone says the book... Alright, I get a little offended when people say this, but people always say the book's incredible. The movie is shit. The movie is garbage compared to the book. That pisses me off because It is one of my favorite fucking movies. Even though I'm aware the book's supposed to be good, I never read the book. But Steve, what's the real reason why people say that? You know.
I mean, I agree that the book is better, but I wouldn't shit all over the movie either. Yeah. I still love the movie.
It's different, but I mean, what's the main reasons why people get on that bandwagon of hating the movie and praising the book?
I think the big thing was that the movie, we all call it a movie, but technically it was made for TV.
Yeah, mini-series.
Right. So with that, there was a lot of censorship that had to go in, and also cuts of even little things that, you get represented in the 1,000 pages of the book or whatever. Like, I mean, obviously there's fucked up stuff too, like the kid sex scenes.
Yeah, that's the only thing I was shocked to hear about the book, that there's that whole, no more edge for now.
Yeah.
But you guys probably know what happens in the sewers. But at the same time, I think it was, from what you said, it was not supposed to be such a, like, crude sexual thing. It was supposed to be, like, a bonding moment.
It was kind of their, like, no pun intended, but coming of age. Like, they...
That's dirty.
I mean, that's kind of what it was, though. They were all growing up together, and that was their, like
hormones
jump into adulthood, like... So, I mean, it's still a little weird to
Did Stephen King ever pull anything like that? Like, pull anything else like that in his other books? Or is this the only...
Not that I know of.
The only thing where, like, that happens?
Yeah, nothing that extreme that I remember, at least, but...
Well, I hope no one bitches about that not being in the movie.
Yeah.
Freaking perverts.
It's the... Well, one of my favorite things about the book is, like... Just reading it is scary, like you just visualizing
Even
it
now?
for yourself. Oh, for sure.
God, I think I'm gonna have to try reading this.
And like, it's like one of those books that like you get through a chapter, right, and you're like, oh, that's fucking creepy. I'm gonna put it down and just like get away from it. And then you like go watch TV for like 10 minutes and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna read the next chapter to see what happens and like get right back into it. It's just so gripping, dude.
So you're about what? Definitely less than halfway through.
Yeah.
How long has it took you to read this so far?
A while.
See, that scares me because if it takes you a while to get that far, what the hell is a guy like me gonna do? Huh?
I have like a patience thing though too, where like I do want to reread it and like have it fresh in my mind, but then when I'm reading stuff that I feel like I know already, I'm just like, oh, I gotta fucking
like
go over this
you're
again.
kind of tempted to skim past
Right.
it. Have you done that, or have you?
No,
been good?
I'm trying to do like a true, honest like
Yeah,
read through. Yeah, so I haven't.
I feel like I would have that problem with my initial reading. I'm like, come on, get to the good stuff.
See, that would be bad because you would
'Cause then I would
read it
miss out
thinking like, oh, I remember this from the miniseries, and then like skip over and you're like missing stuff.
I'm just looking for the next scene in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, what is the most notable differences? Like, what was in the book that would have helped the film out? Is there anything really, or is it just small?
Yeah, I think it's all
details?
just pretty minor. I don't think there's anything really from the book that would have made the movie any better. I mean,
So then I'm kind of confused why everyone rips the movie like that. Just
yeah, I guess it's
maybe it's a more like compelling experience to read it. versus seeing-
yeah. I
don't
mean,
know.
it's definitely a different monster, but it's fantastic.
Do they describe the clown at all resembling the clown in the movie, or
Not
not really? Not that much detail.
He gets described, if I remember correctly, he's described almost a little more true to the way that they're doing him in this newer version,
okay.
where it's like a clown from all different eras, and so like his garb is like all kinds of stuff because he's been around for forever.
So he'll have like a colonial shirt with like a fitted hat on his head.
Right.
Nah.
Yeah. He's going hood and stuff.
Yeah. Pennywise goes to the hood.
I would watch that movie.
That'd be fucking awesome. Like, what are gangsters afraid of? Like, oh, like a competitor drug dealer on your block moving in with better prices.
Oh man.
So,
But
is
yeah.
that it about?
Yeah, for it. That's
it for it.
That's about it. Staying in the same family, I guess. I don't have a physical copy of this. I have it digital. But
Go get a Kindle.
Yeah, it's a great. I love my Kindle.
Yeah, I never made that jump to ebooks. But I haven't bought a book in a while.
Yeah, right.
Probably like 2-3 years ago.
But if you were gonna buy one, I would suggest this as well. Nosferatu,
A book?
which is it's
Oh, I know this one.
it's Joe
Tell them
Hill.
the spelling so like they could differentiate. So how is it spelled?
It's spelled Nos, the number 4, the letter A, and then the number 2.
Which is supposed to be a license plate.
Right.
So.
It's written by Joe Hill, Stephen King's son. And we talked about this before. This is kind of the story where he explained how he feels like there are other characters in the world that have a different type of shine.
Oh, I love that whole thing when he explained that to me. So how like in these other novels, everyone had their own version of The Shining, like
Right.
a gift passed on to them somehow.
Because like the main girl in the story, she has a bike that when she rides it, she goes over this bridge and it'll take her places to find things. But there's a girl who can like figure out a person's name or information just by like throwing down Scrabble tiles. And the villain, where the Nosferatu comes from, he drives a car. That's the license plate on the car. But with his car, he can travel to a place he created in his mind called Christmas Land or Christmas Town. But he's essentially like a vampire, so he's like sucking the life out of kids.
I actually missed that detail when he first told me about it.
Yeah.
So not only is he kidnapping kids and bringing them to this Christmas town or whatever, this kid fantasy land.
Yeah.
But he's sucking their life force out. So he's
Essentially.
like a psychic vampire in a way.
Sort of, yeah.
So not physically attacking them, but
Right.
sucking their life energy.
Yeah.
So in this book, is there only 3 characters with a shining? The girl, the lady, and with her bike, and then the guy with his car? Or?
I'm trying to remember if they reference any more. Those are the main ones, though.
Okay.
I
But
think that might be it.
There's only one villain that uses the gift for bad, while
Yeah.
the other ones use it for good.
Well, the whole idea is basically that as a kid, this girl with the bike ends up getting kidnapped by the guy in the car, but she escapes him.
Oh, wow.
And he ends up, I think, either dying or going to jail. It's been a while since I read it, but she ends up in a psych ward because telling people the story of like
Christmas Land.
Right.
Oh wow.
But eventually she gets like almost to that like delusional state where like you are convinced that it really didn't happen from enough like therapy and stuff, until this villain shows back up and now he's after her son.
Oh my god, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Wow. That almost that plot almost resembles one of the sequels to, what is it called? They Come Back Again, or Sometimes They Come Back Again. Because I remember in one of the sequels, the same villain was going back, but he didn't age for whatever reason because he was like dead. But now he's going after the victim's kid that was in the original. So
yeah.
So it's kind of a similar theme, but obviously Stephen King probably shares. Well, this is his son, so maybe his son borrowed that from his dad.
Yeah, it's possible.
But
yeah,
Nosferatu. That sounds like a great story. But I wonder if they would ever try to adapt that for
they're apparently trying to adapt it for television right now.
So a series.
Yeah.
Guys, I think there's a fucking trend with Stephen King things becoming series. So it's interesting that it's following with his son.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're gonna make his son's work into a series too.
They're starting to. Well, he had that Horns movie. And then now they're doing the Nosferatu series.
And you already said that his son's books are loosely connected to his dad's books sometimes?
Yeah, I guess they kind of exist in like a shared universe without really explaining it. Like in Dr. Sleep, the Shining sequel, Stephen King writes a quick reference to Charlie Manx, who's the villain of Nosferatu.
I didn't even know there was a sequel to The Shining.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and I'm sure you guys didn't know either. So
it's out there.
Now you know, thanks to Mr. Booksmart.
So. While we're on Joe Hill, though, he has another book called Heart-Shaped Box.
I remember you briefly telling me about this.
It's such a cool book. It's like an old, like, not old, but he's probably like 40s, 50s, like Alice Cooper type rocker named Judas Coin. And he has a collection of all these like occult and like weird type of things. Well, I guess he buys a suit on eBay that's like said to be haunted. I don't think he believes it. He's just like, whatever, I'll just throw it in my like weirdo museum. But eventually you come to find out that the suit really is haunted, and it was all a trick to get him to buy it because it was from his like ex-girlfriend who he fucked over or something.
Oh god.
And like as soon as her grandfather passed, she like sent the suit off and was like, make sure you haunt this guy, like fucked him over basically.
So did she tell her grandpa to come back and haunt
the
guy?
Guess, yeah, I guess that was like their plan.
Fuck?
Yeah, it's super weird, but it's a fucking interesting book.
Sounds cool. Didn't the Strokes have a song called Heart-Shaped Box?
I know Nirvana did.
Oh, my bad. Wow, that was a big fuck up. Well, I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't say that I'm not a Nirvana fan, but...
Me either.
Oh, you aren't?
I'll say it loud and proud. Me fucking either.
Kurt Cobain, more like Kurt's propane, as in his propane, not like propane, like the gas. Yeah. So, yeah, I wonder... Well, I got a question. What came first, that Nirvana song or the book?
Definitely the Nirvana song.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to try to say, maybe they made it based off of the book or inspired. Okay, so do you think the title was inspired from a Nirvana song? Kind of seems that way.
No, because the suit that he buys shows up in a heart-shaped box. So.
But I'm saying you don't think that's where he got the title from?
I mean, I don't think so. I fucking hope not.
That would kind of be lame.
Because I love Joe Hill.
How can I make Heart-Shaped Box show up in my story?
Right.
Because, I really want that Nirvana song.
Isn't Heart-Shaped Box like a vagina reference? Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
Is it?
Yeah, people tell us.
I heard of it being called a box, but a heart-shaped box. I never really thought of that.
I could be wrong. I could be fucking retarded, but...
I don't know, but... So, female Sami X is another way to refer to your genitals as a heart-shaped box. Let us know. I'm not too sure, and I don't feel comfortable asking the local ladies about that.
Yeah, right.
Probably get slapped.
Probably.
Is that a heart-shaped box, miss? Like, ah! But, Okay.
Yeah, I'll be curious to find out if I was right or just a weirdo.
I'm curious too. All right.
Moving on.
Yeah, we got sidetracked. Thanks, Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, thanks a lot. You
fucking
crybaby.
I'm all alone.
Oh god.
I can't wait to put like a Kurt Cobain emo meme in the background. You gotta love editing.
This is why I love you.
Yeah, love you too.
The next book I have is called House.
Of course, naturally, right away, I'm like, oh, is that like the original novels that inspired the House horror franchise? Apparently not. Totally not related.
This is apparently a combined effort from Frank Peretti and Ted Decker, who are like well-known Christian horror writers. And there is a lot of like Christian overtones and stuff in it, but still an interesting story. Like these essentially this like couple ends up wrecking their car somehow. I think they like pop a tire or whatever, as is typical and shit like that. They go walk in to find someplace, end up in this like weird seedy hotel type place. When they go to leave because they're feeling weird, all of a sudden there's a killer guy outside in like a mask, all like creepo style. So they can't leave. Then they hear him on the roof.
Oh.
Now all of a sudden a tin can drops from like the fireplace and rolls out. And when they pick it up, it says this shit. It says, "House rules. 1. God came to my house and I killed him. 2. I will kill anyone who comes in my house like I killed God. 3. Give me one dead body and I might let rule number 2 slide. You have until dawn."
Wow.
Yep.
So I got a question. What are the Christian undertones? Is it the fact that they use prayer to like combat evil, or like what is it? Or is it just the fact that like, oh, the killer is like a really anti-Christian person, and then the people in the house are Christians fighting him, or what is it?
There's a little more to it, but it would like spoil parts of the story. So God, I don't want to ruin anything for you guys out there in case somehow that sounded interesting. But it's not huge. It's not like all in your face or whatever. But it's definitely there.
All right, and I don't mind that at all, because I mean, people like to say The Conjuring. The Conjuring is a modern example of, you know, having Christian themes in, you know, the movie. Because I think it was in The Conjuring 2 where it's like, I don't care what you believe in. I believe in Jesus Christ. And
right.
Like, he shows the cross and the dude's like, ah! But, you know, I always find that charming. Because even back in the Hammer horror days, obviously you're using a cross to fight Dracula. And, you know, even back in the old black and white days, you know, a cross was like a horror trope, you know, to use the cross against, you know, the baddies. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Then it just got a couple of quick anthologies that I feel like are worth mentioning. There's another big old sucker, the complete Edgar Allan Poe. I mean,
I actually have a book of the complete works as well.
Yep. It's wonderful because you can get this like whole complete book set for like super cheap.
Did I? Yeah, I think I paid $7-8 at Barnes and Nobles.
Yep, I think I got it at a Ollie's for like
$5
to $10.
Wow, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, I mean obviously Edgar Allan Poe's huge.
And he did like, you know, gothic horror stories. He had a big impact. Obviously, we had a whole slew of Vincent Price movies that were adaptations of Edgar Allan Poe. So,
yep.
You know, as a horror fan, if you like reading, Edgar Allan Poe should have been one of the first things in your collection, so definitely get on that.
Yeah. Then, I don't know if I'll be able to show this, because I have these two digitally. But, in an attempt just to keep
let's see if the Kindle shows up, guys.
Oh, I got it.
What?
You have, Complete Books of Blood by Clive Barker. Obviously, Clive Barker from Hellraiser.
Yep.
It's all a collection of like short stories of his.
Okay, because I heard of the stories like The Hellbound Heart, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I never read any of his books, so I know he's very important.
Oh yeah, and he has in the Books of Blood, there's the story for, I don't know if you ever saw Midnight Meat Train. That was one of his short stories.
Was there just a remake to that, or was it just one movie?
I think it was just one movie.
Okay, well, Shit, I thought it might have been a remake, but anyway, I did see Midnight Meat Train. I might have saw it with you at Becky's, or did I not? I know I saw it with Brian Mitch.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it in theaters.
Okay.
But there's.
I saw that.
I don't know if you're familiar with Rawhead Rex. That's another.
Yeah. Okay.
That short stories in the Books of Blood.
Wow.
And then also, I forget the name. I think it's like The Forbidden or some shit like that. But it's essentially his short story that inspired Candyman is a part of the Books of Blood.
I didn't know that Clive Barker inspired Candyman. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I love Candyman. He scared me
Oh, yeah.
as a kid. Yeah.
So it's a great collection to have, obviously. And then, I mean, how can we mention horror writing without a little H.P. Lovecraft?
I was just thinking that. I was like, I wonder if we're going to bring that up.
Right.
I do have, like, the complete works of, like, H.P. Lovecraft. It might not be the complete. I think it is, but...
Right.
You know, it's a big book of all his infamous stories.
And this one, I mean, just to pick out a few when I was going through it, like, obviously the Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, that was a little hard for me to read, because there's a lot of hard words in there, I feel like.
Right.
Or at least the sounds, or I don't fucking know, the language that they speak, whatever.
Then he did Herbert West, Reanimator, obviously.
And I love the Reanimator movies, so...
And a big story in here, At the Mountain of Madness, which was like a huge inspiration on John Carpenter for The Thing, apparently.
Really?
I mean, I know it was based on The Thing from Another World, but he claims that this story was like a big inspiration for him.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, obviously, I mean, H.P. Lovecraft has been an inspiration for how much horror out there.
Yeah, now I'm kind of wondering how different is Reanimator from the Reanimator film. I would assume it's very different, because Reanimator, the film, is kind of funny. There's some dark humor to it and all that. But yeah, so again, that's all of his favorites. I told you I read Goosebumps as a kid. I fucking love Goosebumps, but for horror novels, I think that's about it. But hey, maybe next time I'll show you some of my magazines. Doesn't really count as novels, but hey, it is a form of me reading. Yeah. So just be glad I'm reading at all.
And hey, maybe we can get some suggestions. Something sounds interesting to you. Get your reading.
Yes, so tell us some horror books to get.
I read all the time, so I'll take your suggestions. Let's, talk about it. But yeah, I think that's all we got for horror novels, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe one day we'll have to go back to magazines and then maybe even comic books one day.
Oh, God, I can't wait.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
That's like my nerd heart just
Dude, especially
grew.
now, like, dude, everyone's putting out comic books from, like, horror franchises that have already been around. It's kind of ridiculous, but, So, yeah, that's going to be it for horror books. Great job, Steve, because,
thanks, buddy.
I wasn't really going to be able to help out on that one.
You were a help to me, and that's all that matters.
Well, thanks. Well, I guess that's going to be it. So, Kurious Cyclopes.
And Steve.
That's Never Sleep Again TV. And we'll be sure to see you in the next episode, because I know you're going to watch it.
You better.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time, guys. And hit the books.